Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be creating this piece mosaic from start to finish, and this will be a two-part video because in this video I will be doing just the mosaic, and then the next video you guys will see me doing the setup that's behind the mosaic right now. So let's just go over the colors really quickly. I have Terracotta by Simpertex, Burnt Orange by Colisan, Mustard by Tuftex, Rosewood by Simpertex, Dusty Rose by Colisan, and then I have Cameo and Empowerment by Tuftex as well. So let's get started. Alright, so we are starting off by using the template that I printed off of Etsy that I purchased. And before I start to trace it on top, I'm going to just tape it down to the foam board. I got this tip from Brittany Bradley. If you guys don't watch her videos, go check her out. She do balloon and she tells you a lot about the business side as well. So I love her videos. So I'm going through, because I think the last time I made this, I actually end up using the template and cutting it out. Using it this way, you can like reuse the template. And as you see on the template, some of the lines wasn't adding up. I don't know if it was because I should have cut off some of the edges. I just kind of just did my own thing and made the own line. It was like a small little piece at the bottom part for the triangle area, but it still turned out great. So after I go through with the pencil and tracing over it, I'm going to take it off, and then that's when I will go through it one more time with a pencil. I'm using my ruler to just make those lines that's going to be cut out. The straight lines, I know I can use the ruler for. I'm just going to add some marking on it just so I can know exactly where to cut at. And I'm making sure everything is lined up as well. And if you guys are anything like me, I suck at cutting any straight lines, curved lines. I suck at cutting, you guys. But honestly, you really can't tell when you using from a distance. You can't tell. Sometimes you can tell up front, but up close. But when you're on the picture and everything, you cannot tell at all if some of the lines is like a little, messed up. And the foam board I have is the 40 by 60 inch. I get this foam board from Office Depot or Office Max, and it's like $13, I want to say. It's not that much. And I like using this one because it's large, and I usually can just cut out the design on one foam board without having to tape together two foam boards together, which I never had to do yet, but that's why I get this size, so I can avoid having to do that. All right, and now we have the peace sign cut out. We are going to get into the hard part, which is cutting the straight line so I can build the frame around the peace sign. I was making these 4 inches wide. I didn't want to do 6 inches because I knew I only wanted to use 5-inch balloons in the piece mosaic. So that's why I only did 4 inches wide. And I had some extra foam board in the closet that I end up needing using as well, because some of the foam boards that I was cutting was just, I don't know. I'm just not good at cutting straight lines. So I had to go grab those foam boards that I had in the closet to use those as well. And now I'm going through, and they like 1/2 inches wide. I didn't measure it out. I just made sure they was like really close. And this is called, I forgot what this is called. It's a name for it. I can't think of it right now. But it gets the foam board to bend. So it allows you to bend the foam board so it can go around to like those curvy shapes. So you don't need it when you're just doing straight lines, but when you need to curve the foam board, that's when you have to make those cuts on a strip. And you don't want to cut it all the way through. You just want to just lightly make those cuts so it can just easily pop out and bend. And now I'm just going through hot gluing this in real time. This takes like, creating the foam board alone is like 2 hours. Like for a job like this, and this is only a 3 foot mosaic. I see why even myself would charge at least $200 for like a 3 foot, and then maybe the 5 foot ones, it would start at like $300, because it takes a lot of your time. So definitely take that in consideration. Unless you get purchasing these, I know they have some people who have like the strips and stuff already made, and you just glue it together. My sister had that for my nephew for his birthday party. I just had to glue it together. It came already made. But when you're starting from scratch and using the template, it takes at least 2 hours just to make the foam board. And then adding the balloons in there is like another 2 hours. So that's 4 hours of your time. Take that into consideration. And then if you have to drop it off, then we talking about delivery. Oh, so yeah, at least $200 just for a 3 foot mosaic. And people probably were like, that is a lot. It's just balloons. No, baby. It's balloons and time. So now I'm just closing this up. Everything looks so good on time lapse. It just speeds everything up. And the main thing I really cared about when I was putting on, I guess, the frame, I wanted everything to be layered. How can I say this? I wanted everything like on top. I wanted it all, because I used 4-inch strips. I wanted to make sure they were all the same height, is what I'm trying to say. I wanted to make sure they all was the same height. So when I put it on, if it wasn't, I made sure they was the same height. And if it was a little bit over, then I usually, like I just did, I cut it off. And then I will go back and just glue some more in the inside. So now we're getting into the balloons. And for the balloons, my goal was to just do like the block pattern, of course. And I started off doing the large balloons, and then I'll go into doing these smaller balloons. And I found it easier this time to inflate as many balloons as I can, is what I thought I needed before. Instead of like adding the balloons as I was inflating, I thought it was just easier having all the balloons inflated already and just adding whatever I needed anymore at the end. And that's exactly what I did. And for these smaller ones, I just used like one pump, and then I like pushed all the air to the front and just tied it. The smaller the balloon, this is a tip, the smaller the balloon, the more detailed it will look. So try to get the balloon as small as you can without all the air leaving out. But try to get the balloon as small as you can, because it definitely helps detail the mosaic a lot more. And when I'm doing when I'm putting them in there, I try to hold it for at least 30 seconds. I don't count it, but I try to hold it for a bit, at least 30 seconds though, so it can really, press on and stay. Alright guys, so now we're getting to making the stand, which absolutely did not work at all, to be honest. I don't know if I made the strips long enough. Maybe it needed to be a little bit taller. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But I was able to still use it outdoors, and I just end up putting a weight on it at the end. And that helped a lot, and it made it stand up outdoors, so that was fine. But yeah, it did not work, and I end up adding, as you see, I just measured it out. I'm going to add a piece of strip on the back, and that's how I'm glad I did end up doing that, because that's how I was able to put the weight that I had on the Mosaic outdoors. I just kind of set it in the middle part, and it held it up. So I'm glad I actually ended up putting that on. But yeah, it didn't stand up on its own. If you guys have any tips on how to make it stand up on its own, please leave it in the comment section. I will very much appreciate that. Yeah. And this is how everything turned out. I absolutely loved it. Please stay tuned. Sunday, this video will be out on the whole setup. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.